Salutations! Welcome to the conversation. I am your host, the Queen of Shade, and I would like to formally, cordially, gleefully, and joyfully welcome you to One-on-One with the Queen of Shade Season 2. There are going to be a lot of surprises in this season. You're going to see a lot of familiar faces that have been here before, and some new ones. And it's going to be an amazing journey of discovery. Remember, these are not interviews. These are inner views. Let us see what your soul looks like. So pull up a chair and don't forget to comment, like, share, and most of all, subscribe. To follow the show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Queen of Shade, and you can follow the show there. There's also a podcast version of the show, but that hasn't come all the way out yet. I did a soft launch, but that will be coming out too. Season 1 was absolutely crazy. There are 253 episodes of Season 1. Yes, I was running off of pure adrenaline, pure spirit, pure excitement, and we got that done. So you can expect Season 2 to be just as magnanimous and crazy and explosive. There will be some great conversations that you will be able to take things away from and apply to your natural life. 253 episodes. Let's see what we do for Season 2. I love all of you and thank you for supporting, watching, commenting, liking, sharing, because baby, we're on this journey together. We're not on here alone. I'm not on here alone. My guests are not on here alone. You're right along with us. So once again, welcome to the conversation. Now let's get to the conversation.
You fall. The Queen of Shade.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. Mister, how's your wife and kids? Do they know you like to handle this? I say, mister, why punish your son? 'Cause his daddy likes my kind of fun. And at night you always call my phone. You're always asking if I'm all alone. And when I tell you that I need your love, you come running just to feel me up. Two-time Lambda literary winner, writer, poet, social media manager, and YouTuber. Also appearing on Season 3 of For the Love of DILFs, Victor Yates.
Salutations, Queen of Shade here, coming to you with another very special presentation. Moving full speed ahead, talking to some amazing people around the world has truly been an experience for me. It has changed my life, and I have forged connections that are more priceless and valuable than choice gold and fine silver. Having said that, I have someone today that you need to meet. But before I introduce this young man, we're going to do a little reading. All right, here we go. Victor Yates is a poet, writer, social media manager, and content creator on YouTube. He was selected for the Fire Island Artist Residency and is the winner of the 2020 George Floyd Honorarium for poetry from the Los Angeles Press. He won the 2017 Judith A. Markowitz Award for emerging LGBTQ writers and the 2016 Lambda Literary Award for LGBT debut fiction for his book, A Love Like Blood. So clearly, we got a big fish today. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to my platform for the first time, and hopefully not the last, Mr. Victor Yates. Hello.
Hello, my love. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, even more so fantastic now that you're here.
Oh, before we start, I have to say that I am honored to share space with you. You are one of the individuals that I would look at your content on social media, and you have been around for a very long time. And I used to listen to your music years ago on YouTube. And so you have that iconic graphic of like the shaved head with the svelte, like black garment. And that image is what I think of when I think of you. And it definitely represents who you are. Thank you for being someone that people can look to in the community for information, for interviews, and being a platform for other artists. Because it's one thing to bring art into the world, it's another thing to share your platform for other artists. So thank you for everything.
You're trying to make me cry. You know, you went way back. I mean, way back. I have actually been in formation for 21 years. I'm 42 now.
Oh,
And the last 10 years have been as the Queen of Shade. On January 1st, it's my anniversary. It'll
oh,
be 10 years in front of this camera for social media. And literally, I have posted every single day Queen of Shade content to my platforms
oh,
for
wow.
10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
I've been grinding. There was no, listen, when they don't give you a place or when
Yeah.
they don't respect who you are and they want to change you,
Yeah.
got to do something about it. And, I was one of those ones that was crazy enough to believe that what God gave me, what my ancestors passed to me, was
Yeah.
worthy. And that's very difficult. And the
Yeah.
reason why I'm saying that is, as an artist, you're an artist. We didn't mention that you're on the love of DILFs, right?
No, 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 I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot that. I'm like, you're on the love of DILFs. You're literally on television right now. I'm like, hello. Yeah, but we forgot. But that's all right. I'm bringing it up now. I'm bringing it up now. You're on for the love of DILFs. But, people don't understand that to be an artist, most of the time, we are told what to do
Yeah.
by non-artists.
Yeah.
So I'm getting goosebumps. My ancestors showed up. So for us, we are always fighting
Yes.
to hold on to our originality, to hold on to our individuality, our
Yeah.
uniqueness,
Yeah.
our creativity, the way that we see it, the lens and the scope that we see ourselves.
Yeah.
And this business is one of those businesses where you can start one way and
Yeah.
in 10 years not recognize yourself.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So I just want to say that I am honored to have you here because you do something I admire more
Oh,
than anything. And honestly, it is why I'm here.
oh,
You write.
oh,
Every last one of those monologues I did, I wrote them.
oh, okay.
I wrote them all. No team, none
Yeah,
of that. I put like I do those monologues for social media. I did some today. I'm still doing them off the cusp. I'm
yeah,
writing. I'm
yeah.
writing. There are over 60,000 of them.
Holy crap.
There are
Wow.
6,000 plus of them. But it's been 10 years.
Yeah,
But I said all of that to say that I did that because no one saw me.
yeah.
They kept saying, you have potential. You could be something. But it was always, you have potential if you did this or if you lost that. Just cut that out. And the biggest thing was sing lower.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I don't even think I can
Yeah,
because I'm a countertenor.
yeah.
That's a mezzo soprano in the opera world. Countertenors are from the opera world. So for a countertenor to convincingly cross into popular music is unheard of. It was a lot of first for me. So
Okay.
you said that, you took me on that journey. I saw the image when you
Oh,
said it. I saw the image because little do they know. When I take this off
yeah,
and when this camera goes off,
yeah.
that's who I am.
Oh,
Victor, thank you.
oh,
Thank you for seeing me. I
oh,
mean that because it's another thing. You think I'm indie, it's going to take me forever. You
yeah.
know, I've been in front of critics that said if you don't do it with us, you'll never do it.
Okay.
You'll be an old man before you do it.
Oh,
That used to terrify me.
yeah,
But Victor, if I'm 70 years old and I'm doing this in a gray wig and I own it, it's worth it.
yes,
It's worth it.
yes,
So thank you for seeing me. That was an amazing way to start this conversation because it's what it is. It's a conversation.
yes.
And you do so much like you're critically acclaimed.
I
You've
love that.
you've won awards. Come on now. You've won awards for being able, like my professors used to say in college and even in high school, you give voice to words. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that. We got a lot of writers out here.
Okay.
But to give voice to where the voice leaves the pages and translates into the world out there, worthy of recognition. I'm here to give you your flowers.
Oh.
I am honored to have you because we were going to do this, 2 weeks ago? And get it, you were on set.
Yeah,
You were like, listen, they gave me a schedule last minute. I have to film.
yeah,
And what people need to understand is it's not mainstream artists against indie artists. You're doing what you feel is best for you.
yeah,
That's what you're doing. And
yeah,
you're maintaining as much, if not all, of your integrity. That's hard. You
yeah,
know, Hollywood is not Hollywood, it's Holly weird.
yeah,
You know that. And for you to be one of those people that is trailblazing out there in the desert, literally,
yeah.
my hat is off to you.
Oh,
My hat is off to you. I am honored to have you here today.
thank
Honored to give you your flowers. So let's start. When we came on camera, you were sitting at a boardroom. I expected 12 other people to be sitting there. It was a daggone boardroom. He had multiple cameras. He's like, oh, should I look into this one? Should I look into that one? He said, that's production.
yes.
That's production. I said, oh, okay. All right.
Only that for you. I want it to look good for you.
And you do.
Oh,
You
thank
do.
you.
And I'm going to be honest, my ancestors are here. I have many gifts, you know this.
Right.
There's a energy radiating from you. There's a lot of love in you.
Oh,
There's a lot of love in you. I feel it. And people like you write the stories that many of us are going to live through, that are going to inspire young people to even go to Hollywood, to even launch out on their own. You're going to, we need to be seen.
yeah.
We need to be seen, especially now,
Yes. Oh, yes,
the
yes.
climate of what's going on.
Yeah.
When the outcome of that election came, I said, I'm not going to rest for 4 years
Yeah.
because I literally have to reflect the times. I
Yeah.
have to tell people we can get through this. I
Yeah.
have to convincingly. See, that's the thing. A lot of people do what we do.
Yeah.
Convincingly.
Yeah.
That's key.
Yeah.
It's key.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't put everything in my bio, but I'm also an educator. And one of the first things that I did when I moved here, I worked at a camp for youth impacted by HIV and AIDS.
Mm.
And now I work at a camp for individuals who are gender non-confirming and transgender. And I thought of all of them on election day. And it's going to be difficult. But I loved what you said earlier about how words leave the page. And it is through storytelling that we can come together as a community, support each other, share stories, and not just mainstream queer stories, but all of our stories. And that's really why I like For the Love of Delphs, which I forgot to put in my bio. For the Love of Delphs, if any of your viewers don't know, it is an intergenerational dating show on Out TV. And it's through the power of storytelling and the power of love that we get to meet people from all over this country who would not have met each other without Daddy TV, which is the production company that put us all together. And what I loved about that experience is that I live alone in LA, and I got to wake up in a mansion every day with incredible queer people. And it was such a privilege to do that because I felt love around me at all times. Now, there was drama sometimes in the house, but I'll take that any day than the silence that I have to go to at my home. And it was quite a beautiful experience. And I hope that your viewers that don't know about the show get to watch it because episode 3 dropped today and it was a doozy. And I won't talk about it so that people that haven't watched it get to experience it. But it was, it's a very dramatic episode. It's a very dramatic episode. And I'm so grateful for being in the community now of DILFs. I'm in a fraternity that I'll exist in forever as long as I have breath in my body. We are on a group chat and we check in every day. And I'm so just proud of the people that they have become post show.
Yes. You know, it's so funny to me because I am one of those babies where I was always ahead of my time.
Duh.
Always. And my time is catching up now. But you said something that is the reason, another reason. You're hitting all the points here. Because when I walked away from my major label deal, pissed my A&R CEO off, all of them, and they said, you wanna sing in coffee shops and we want you to sing in front of millions of people and and I was like, yes. And they said I was stupid and this is that and the other and that I'd never be and I'd never do. So that for me, the mainstream dream was over. But what I pride myself on is I'm extremely resourceful and resilient.
Yeah.
I believed, which is why I sit here, that I could make a living and not have to go outside my community.
Okay.
I believed that I could stay in the gay community.
Yeah.
We have everything. We've
Yeah.
got doctors, we've got lawyers, we've got actors,
Yeah.
models, musicians. And
Yeah.
what I love about our community that people don't highlight enough is when you go to places like the mansion for the love of DILFs. That is us in the club.
Yeah.
You never know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You never know their resume. You don't
Yeah.
know their financial standing. But
Yeah.
one thing I have enjoyed about being a card carrying member of the rainbow community is that we can get to each other.
Yeah.
We can communicate in a way that most people would tell you, oh, well, no, honey, you can't get in to see him, and he rarely sees people, and
Yeah.
oh, no, baby, he won't make time for that. With our community, it's like, you're gay, I'm gay, we're in.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
before you even realize who they are and
Yeah.
what they do, you have built a rapport.
Yeah.
So I was the type of person where I said, you know what? I had it in my bio. I am an artist that is a queer artist that are for queer people.
Yeah.
I'm singing. Get this. I've had many people around the world love that music, especially
Yeah.
in Europe. But that music is designed for a man to be singing to a man.
Yeah.
That was its inception, its purpose, its reason for being. I
Yeah.
love that the world is catching on just as they did the Queen of Shade. But I came into being to empower us.
Yeah.
I came into being so that the world in our community would see a strong leader.
Yeah.
One that didn't take short ends of the sticks. One that said, listen, I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to do that. I ain't got to lay on my back. I ain't got to do any of the things you're offering me because mine will take care of me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I've watched that work for me.
Yeah.
When I started this, my promotion was word of mouth.
Yeah.
It was word of mouth. And I was so skeptical because I had the money to pay for promotion. But it was a straight man. One of my cousins said to me, no, Queen, you don't need to do that. Let it grow. Word of mouth gonna put you right where you need to be. And it was one of my babies, whom, because I also do mentoring.
Yeah.
It's one of my babies. His name is Philando Jackson. He was Talk Gay with Faye on social media. He was a viral influencer a couple of years. Yeah.
I think I know him. I used to
Oh,
go
no.
to Miami a lot.
That's where, yep, you know him. You know him. So
Yeah.
get this. He, in the community,
Yeah.
said, oh, this was hilarious. And he shared a 15-second video. And I took those 15 seconds and turned them into 10 years.
Okay.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
Somebody in my community saw the value.
Yeah.
That is why I sit here.
Yeah.
No straight person, and I have straight followers, no straight person did that for me. One
Yeah.
of my own did.
Yeah.
So it further reinforced my need to stick to my own.
Yeah.
And this thing goes as high as the heavens because we have all the top designers.
Yeah.
We set the tone and the pace for everything. We're doing hair, we're doing
Yeah.
makeup, we're the best friend,
Yeah.
we're the vocal coach, we're the runway coach. We're everywhere.
Yes.
We're everywhere. And so when you said, I got to wake up in a beautiful mansion, I said to myself, not only did he get to wake up in a beautiful mansion and enjoy the love of his community, he got to see what's coming for him. Not quitting is key.
Yeah.
It don't matter how old we get.
That is very true.
We, and if you really think about it, to be all honest and fair, most of us in the gay community, we come to riches later, after we've had our fun with the boys.
Yeah.
And we literally get serious because we have to.
Yeah.
We can't get hired here and there and everywhere. So we have to create our own spaces, our own businesses,
Yeah.
and they thrive. Then we play with the boys again. We become dimps. We
Yeah.
become dimps.
Yeah.
That's what we do. For the next generation, we bring them along. We
Yeah.
invest in them. We teach them the culture.
Yeah.
Have something so unique, something so unique, because we can reach anybody in the
Yeah.
community. I've had people that you would think are untouchable. They say, "Oh, you're gay." Pick up the phone. "Hey, Queen."
Yeah.
Like, I'm tripping because I'm like, "Oh my God." But I had something happen. I don't want to call his name, but he's a famous musician, and we all know him, and we all love him, so we know who we talking about.
Okay.
But he literally, for the first time, I said to him, because I've been following him for years, and I said, "I love you. We love you," and he responded, and it was so crazy because my house, I got babies that follow his music, so they
Yeah.
like, my uncle is talking to my favorite rapper, my
Yeah.
favorite musician, my favorite artist, and I'm
Yeah.
like, baby, that's the community.
Yeah.
That's the community. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, mister, tell me about these awards, the writing,
Ah,
your book. Tell me the inception of it because, ideas, they don't think that men give birth, but we do. We
yeah.
conceive the idea.
Yeah.
Then when we manifest, that's the labor.
Yeah.
No? Birthing that thing from fantasy into reality. Our children, we got children. These are our brain children.
Yeah.
Brainchild is not just a word they threw out there. It's a brainchild. So
Yeah.
tell me about your
Yeah.
brainchild.
I started writing very bad poetry when I was 14. I read Maya Angelou's The Black Family Pledge, and there was beauty and music in the words, and I wanted to replicate that. And so I started writing for a newspaper. And at the time I was writing for a newspaper, I worked in a library and I was surrounded by books and I loved it. And one day I walked into the library and I said, if all of these people that are represented in this library in books, whatever form they are, if they can write a book, so can I. And so I started thinking of these characters, and I was walking down the street at night and I saw this guy smoking a cigarette and passed by um, a light post. And I thought, that's the opening of the first chapter. And I wrote the first chapter, and some time passed by. I joined a writing workshop. And through the writing workshop, I learned how to create a character that lives above the page, how to give them a beating heart. And the writing workshop really helped me to find my voice. And by finding my voice, I realized that the first chapter just didn't work. So after I learned how to kill my darlings, how to kill the things that I loved but weren't working for me, that's when I was able to have the final draft and get it published. And I always describe writing the novel, A Love Like Blood, as giving birth and then being unpregnant, because these characters live inside of you for a very long time. And then they exist in the world outside of your body. And it is such a weird experience talking to people who get you through your words, your sentences. Something strange happens in A Love Like Blood. The main character's name is Karsten Tynes. He's young, gay, Somali, Cuban photographer working with his father in a photography studio. And he's brilliant. And the way that he thinks is very kind of like long-winded. And towards the end of the book, the sentences get shorter and shorter because of urgency. And people were able to pick up on that. And I was like, how did you pick up on that? So it's beautiful to be able to talk about things that you created with people who you might meet them at a book signing, or they might send you a message on social media. But the great thing is that my writing program was within an art school. And being surrounded by fine artists changed my writing process. And I tutored fine artists. And so I got to read their work and learn about their art practice. And so that allowed me to think of writing as an art. How could someone describe a painting? What is it that they see? What is it that they cannot see? And that changed me as a writer. It was that experience that allowed me to connect with a group of typewriter poets. And that experience allowed me to become like more of a performance artist, because we would literally take typewriters, go to public events, and we would ask people what they wanted a poem about. And that was sort of like a collaboration where I am the artist creating art for them. That experience alone allowed me to pay my bills during the pandemic. I entered the George Floyd poetry contest because one of the poems that I wrote during this typewriter collective experience, it was like a warm-up activity, and I submitted it, didn't think anything about it. That one poem allowed me to create a collection of poems about police brutality against Black bodies. And I applied for a ton of art and literary grants, and I started creating a bunch of poetry short films. And one of those films was selected for a film festival in Berlin. And so I got to go to Berlin. And so I have lived 100 lives post-pandemic because art really saved me and allowed me to live the life that I wanted. And I am so grateful for people like you, because I might not see every YouTube video. I might not see every IG video, but I go back and I look. And I'm always reminded of the story that you just told, like maybe it was a few months ago, but when you went to Paris and you had on a cat suit and you walked out of the plane with that. And I love being surrounded by queer people because queer people give me strength. And I picture what it was like for you to walk off of a plane in a new environment, being your bold self, and how you carried yourself. And that gives me strength. It may sound weird, but like I think of all of our elders, all of our ancestors, and what they had to endure. And it helps to push me forward. And I try to do that with my students too. I try to teach them. I feel like I have gay face. And so wherever I am, even like in non-traditional, like queer spaces, I have gay face. So queer students come to me all the time. And I try to teach them everything that I know, how to be confident, how to be proud. And I share my experiences with them to help them So all of that is included in my art practice, and the writing is a part of the art practice. Um, and one thing that I'm most proud of, I'm still working on it, but I received a grant to create a documentary to share the narratives of older gay men who had a relationship to the city of West Hollywood. And that's probably something I'm most proud of. I'm still editing it. It's coming out soon. But it was incredible to learn about what they did to survive the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And it's all storytelling. All of this is a part of storytelling. How we share our stories, how we get to see stories of others. And so I think at it all boils down to I fell in love with a poet at the age of 13 who was a storyteller. And I've become a storyteller, and I like creating storytellers.
You know, you keep hitting me so hard, and I love it. I love it. Let me go there. Let me stay there for a second. When I stepped off that plane in 2005, I was on fire. I left Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, homeless.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Homeless. I got on a plane with 50 cents in my pocket. My family had turned their back on me, and they thought that I was going to crawl into a hole and disappear into the abyss. And they thought wrong. They thought wrong. I will never forget being where I felt that I belonged. I'll never forget in that same city, I had a breakdown because the divine spoke to me. First of all, God is very, very real. And I'm not a Christian, but as I feel my ancestors, I also feel the universe and the divine. And the divine woke me up one summer morning in Paris. And I had been indoctrinated as a child from 10 to 20. I got to Paris at 22. Literally, he woke me up. He knew what was going to happen. My friend had gone to work because I was the model, pretty young model laying around doing push-ups and crunches and eating celery. He said, the divine,
Yeah.
get up and go to the park. Now, this is significant only because my reaction to what he said would have gotten my friend a noise violation. My reaction to what the divine said, I needed to be somewhere open air where I could express it and get it out and not have my friend be penalized. And the divine took that into account. He's just that real in my life. All these monologues, even the way I'm dressed, I sit on the bed. What do I wear? He shows me. So he took me to the park, and there were all kinds of French people laying out. And he said something to me that caused, you talking about something being shook loose in you? He said, you know that you're gay, right? And I said, I know. And I couldn't even get the word no out before I started hysterically crying and rolling around in the grass as if I was possessed, because I had to finally come to the realization that being effeminate all my life and being persecuted, I was being persecuted for something that was very true.
Yeah.
I didn't deserve their persecution, but what I was being punished for, that thing was true. And I'll never forget asking him when I finally came to, because French people surrounded me. They were asking, are you all right? Are you all right? Can we do anything? I couldn't even speak. And literally, it was like a scene in a movie. I literally picked myself up, pulled those emotions back in, walked out that park like nothing had happened. And literally, as I was walking back to my friend's flat, I said to God, what am I going to do? And he said, we'll deal with it. That was 2005. It is getting ready to be 2025. We have never had a discussion about it again. There was nothing to discuss. So I know what you mean when you say words leap off a page and give people confidence and empower them to live their lives. Everybody's not an artist.
Yeah.
Everybody's not destined for the limelight. But you can be a star no matter where you are. You can shine for your mother, your father, your support system, your friends, your colleagues. You can be that ray of sunshine wherever you are. And I think about that because a lot of young gay men didn't become famous. They didn't walk into the halls that we walked into, but everyone knew them as being a ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
Inspiring, didn't
Yeah.
take no nonsense, told it like it was. We
Yeah.
have so many in the world that did that, that never came to public light. But those shoulders are the ones we stand on, because
Yes.
those were the people that got our heterosexual communities, especially being black, used to us,
Yeah.
because they were unapologetic. They
Yeah.
were willing. You said something, living above the pages. The Queen of Shade is the greatest character I've ever created. She's a character. She is one that I fashioned. She is one I prepared. It's not who I am.
No.
I'm so much more. But I love when I get in front of people and I'm not dressed like this, because very real parts of me are in her.
Yeah.
I find that when I speak to people outside of my illusion, they're looking. Oh,
Yeah.
there she is. Oh, oh, there she is. Oh, 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 that's
Yeah.
her. Oh, 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 did you hear that? That was her.
Yeah.
That connection.
Yeah.
There's no role I could ever play
No.
be as magnanimous as the Queen. So I know what you mean when you say inspired and your words live beyond the pages and you moved into performance art. So hard to do. So hard to do. Most writers, they're mousy. They
Yeah.
live behind the scenes. They're
Yeah.
not trying to be seen. That's why they're writing. It's a
Yeah.
way for them to get their art out there
Yeah.
without having to deal with all of the demand of the spotlight.
Yeah.
Hell, we even know that even in the literary world, models, people have been hired to be the face of the author. The company will hire someone to pose as the author so that the author can live their life in seclusion and write books,
Yeah.
because they don't want to be worried and bothered with all
Yeah.
this extra angst over here. The circus that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah. I will definitely tell you, for my YouTube channel, um, I I used to post nothing but like videos of the queens who were contestants on Drag Race. And I had this comment from someone one day, and they were like, "Oh, you should, get in front of the camera." I was like, "I don't want to get in front of the camera." And it was that one comment that planted a seed that became an idea. And I thought to myself, what would that look like? And every video that I have on YouTube, except for one, I have a script. And my very first video where I was in front of the camera, I was like this, reading the script. And it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. But that one person, they were like, you did a good job, but try not to read the script in its entirety. And I got better and better and better. You know what the beautiful thing about YouTube is that your audience will come and they will let you know what they like. And so I moved away from being in front of the camera. So now I do voiceovers. And I always think of people like you because you really sell your personality in front of the camera. I have to do that with my voice. Sometimes I get it wrong, but you always get it right. And that's what I love about you. Like your energy comes through, your drive comes through, your passion comes through. And it's difficult. Sometimes I'll do like, 10 takes or one sentence to get out energy. YouTube is very hard, but the audience allowed me to kind of like move into a different direction. I actually supported myself through the pandemic with YouTube as well. I now do like movie, TV reviews specifically about the LGBT community, and that's why I love your YouTube channel, is because you have a specific niche, and I love your storytelling. I love your fashion sense. And I know when that like Bob comes out, this little short one like this, we're getting a good story. And so I try to support as many YouTubers as possible. Like I try to like, comment, because YouTube was my queer community before I moved to Los Angeles. I would sit on YouTube and look at videos from people like you, to like the ballroom scene, to commentators. That was my community. And I feel like it's almost like giving back when I try to support other people. And I try to recommend people to like go to your channel, go to other people's channels. But that's the beautiful thing about community, is that it doesn't have to be in a physical space anymore. It can be in a virtual space. And that's the cool thing about you as a brand, that you exist on all platforms. And people can find you on Instagram, people can find you on YouTube, and you have followers in all of those places. And you might not know it, but you bring people together. You might have a conversation with someone might see that interview and there's like, I have to connect with this person. And so you are creating these new connections within the community. So that is something to really be excited about.
Thank you so much for seeing me. I keep saying that, seeing me. I said today, there is a difference, because I do these monologues. I'm doing more monologues before I sit down. But I said to the camera, we have gotten so good that you can't see the strings. But the strings are there. They're important. And I encourage other people to start. I remember starting in my grandmother's classroom after being medically withdrawn from college in the year 2001. I was in her classroom because my grandmother's an educator as well.
Yeah.
She taught school, so she had a little second graders. And I went as an aide because she needed to watch me. I had been medically withdrawn. So it was my first time being diagnosed bipolar 1, PTSD, and acute anxiety disorder. So she would watch me to make sure I was okay. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget signing up for MySpace right there. And I'll never forget pursuing my modeling career, networking, meeting people all right there. I met Jante right there.
Oh, one of my,
Yes,
I've loved them for a
he,
very long time.
I tell you, we love each other.
Yeah,
We love each other. And he just gave me my flowers because T.S. Madison made him cry because she was like, baby, I know your work. She said, that's the beautiful thing about the community is that
yeah,
we all know each other. So
yeah,
he cried and he said, and I commented under that. And I said, of course we know. You're an
yeah,
icon, a legend.
yeah,
And he then said this. He said, but what people don't fail to realize is you've been out here giving us this fire and music for 20 years.
yeah,
And I was like sometimes, most times, when you're creating the art, you don't know who it's going to benefit.
yeah,
And in my case, my niche was so rare that I had to keep telling myself, you may not have the numbers, you may not have the likes, but leave it up there.
yeah,
Because when this spotlight goes on again, they're going to go back and look at everything you ever did,
yeah,
everything you ever said. And that's what kept me going through the hard times. I wasn't creating content for today. I was creating it for 5 years from now. That's how I got through that.
yeah,
Because that's another thing. People don't understand. This is a grind. This
yeah,
is, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend this career for many people because this career,
yeah,
first of all, if you do it to get, if you do it to make money, you already in the wrong place.
yeah,
You're already in the wrong place. It takes years.
yeah,
And what they don't understand is you become famous inside. Your peers know you first
yeah,
before you ever have a going public moment. I knew so many people and still do behind the scenes. These people would slap their mamas if they knew who I knew. I'd never call their names, but literally they would be like, I see people sometimes go, how does she do it? Who knew? And it's like, well, she doesn't have the numbers. And I'm like, baby, that's why I started posting the analytics. I have more support from non-followers than I
yeah,
do from followers.
yeah,
And I have to tell people, do you know what that means? They're not following me, which means my content does not pop up in their feed.
yeah,
Are actively remembering my name and making a conscious decision to keep returning to my content.
yeah,
It says something.
yeah,
When you said that, I've had many people because it's a part of, see, this is the strings. It's a part of what I do. Bring them together, foster networking situations, pair them. I've been doing that all my life. I'm a Libra. Harmony. Bring it together. I'm so quick. That's why I never posted a single hot black and Latin man to my page without tagging him because it cut the guesswork out and more work for me. I don't want you to come to me and ask me, who is that? I don't want to gatekeep that man. That's why I give you his name. Go ask him. Go offer him your opportunity. Y'all do that independent of me.
yeah,
And that's honestly how it has continued to work because I'm not gatekeeping. I do my part and I move on.
yeah,
Move on. So it suspends itself. It hovers on its own. I don't have to stand there and lift it. I've got it to where it's self-sustaining now. Literally, they'll go, I watch all the time. I've had babies say to me, I know I have a presence and it was because of you. I know that. And I've had babies be flown out to Hollywood to do things. And it shocked me because one of my babies, he said to me, And when I say babies, these ain't babies, these grown men. But I call
Yeah.
them my babies. You know, I'm Queen. I call them
Sure.
babies. But they're not babies. But he said to me, he said, Queen, they flew me all the way out to California to be on set. They took the silhouette of my face. They took my side profile. That was all they wanted from me. And then as I sat there, done my part, executives rushed over and said, do you know the Queen of Shade personally? How can you get us a meeting? Can you do that? I wouldn't have believed it if he hadn't came back and honestly told me, your name is in rooms that you're not even in. I had my best friend of 13 years say to me, he went to Miami Sizzle. I don't go to those things. Not yet, at least. There's a lot of things I don't do because I believe for my brand, you can't be a luxury item or commodity and be accessible to everyone.
Okay.
You can't do that. Part of the brand is exclusive because if it's exclusive, then I can charge as much as I do.
Yeah.
I can't just go.
Yeah.
Can't just be seen. That takes away from the monarch. See, I
Yeah.
know how to protect my investment. And I honestly, I'm 42. I have no desire. I have no desire. I went to Pride when I was younger in New York and did all of that. I have no desire for those things now.
Yeah.
My purpose is to prepare this wealth to pass to my nephew, who's my favorite, so that he and his offspring never have to worry again. That's where I am. Legacy building. All
Yeah.
that other stuff. I love seeing the queens. I love them seeing out. I love watching them go out. I love watching them go on tour. I love the T.S. Madisons performing at the City Winery. I love all those things. But I'm about legacy right now.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps me sustained. I own everything.
Yeah.
I sit here today. Everything around me, every light, the laptop, the wig, the dress, the makeup, I own it all. The music, the merchandise, it's all mine. All I have to do is hold on to it. I've put in the 21 years needed to be an overnight success. It takes 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm in my 21st year.
Yeah.
It was literally the long game. I just had to hold on to it. I had to hold on to it. My name, which is so uncanny that I got it, first of all, when I went to trademark it all those years ago. Even the fact that I got it, because I swore that there were certain, pop divas and other people that were known as the Queen of Shade. It was kind of like an unspoken thing. Oh, no, she's the Queen of Shade. No, she's the Queen of Shade. They can't do that today. They can't do that today. My lawyer sits by the phone. He's just waiting to call me and say, we got one. I've had to, and I mean recently, I've had to stare down and stand down major companies. Companies you and I know. You can't have my likeness. You can't use my name. You can't go on tour and call it the Queen of Shade Tour because I own that. I try to, what I'm alluding to is in the fostering of the relationships, I'm trying to teach them something too.
Yeah.
Because our community is the one that's always taken advantage of.
Yeah.
We're last to be paid.
Yeah.
And we do the most work.
Yeah.
And I'm out to change that, Vic.
Yeah.
I'm out to change that. And even that is self-sustaining because I've done it.
Yeah.
These videos will stand forever. I
Yeah.
gave the secrets. I showed them how to do it. The blueprint is there. All they need to do is be themselves and follow it.
Yeah.
It's what you call passive income.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I'm monetized on YouTube. I'm not monetized anywhere else. Not
Okay.
Instagram, Not anything, because I read the contracts. They wanted me to make original reels so that they could own them. I'm
Okay.
sorry. You can't own anything coming out of my mouth because I have bigger plans.
Yeah.
Every monologue that was given to me by the divine, that
Yeah.
was inspired by my ancestors. Oh, say this, say that. I'm going to put in books. That's the point. Literature is coming out of this. I just expanded my trademark this year to cover literary work.
Okay.
Literary. It moved from just music. It moved from just downloadable videos, non-downloadable videos, merchandise. Now it's literary work. She's writing.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. And for people like you to come and say, this has just been a conversation. We're really just respecting each other. It's really what we're doing. And I love that because people will see this and understand you don't have to be a cat even though you're a cat. You don't have to be catty even though you're feline. We can support each other.
Yeah.
Don't let them do that to us. Pit
Yeah.
us against each other.
Yeah.
We work well together because we already have that in common. Girl, it's us against them. We
Yeah.
already know that. It's us against them, girl. So we got to stick together.
Yeah.
It's to the point now, my straight men, my straight babies, they like, Queen, thank you for sharing me. I like, and it's a test. Social media was the test. It was like my out of town tryout.
Okay.
This thing really is a magazine. It really is. From
Yeah.
the memes and all that's said to it's really just a magazine. The facts,
You're great at curating your Instagram.
that's the point.
Yeah.
And that's what, it's an experience.
Yeah.
That's what keeps them coming back. It's an experience. I don't expect anybody to keep up with everything that I'm doing. I do a lot. I don't expect them to keep up. But I knew. It's so crazy because I sit here with thousands of content pieces created. And I knew I only needed you to see one. It didn't matter which one it was. I just needed you to see one. Because if you heard me, if you saw me, you'd never forget. That's what it has been. So, with your books, are you working on anything right now, literary wise?
I'm trying.
I was gonna say, talk about.
I wear a lot of hats. Um, during the show, which some people laugh about it, I'm in a queer typewriter poetry collective. I brought a typewriter with me. I typed poems on set, and for the queer typewriter collective I'm part of, it's called Pride Poets, and we go to Pride events and like queer events across the West Coast. And my favorite poems to write are gay love poems. And so I hope to compile a chapbook of gay poems, including the poem that I wrote for the show and about the other contestants. I am struggling to work on my next novel. It has been a long road. I'm no longer a part of a writing workshop, and having having like accountability partners, that helps me to write. Without them, it is very difficult. And so I try to write a little bit a day. But social media keeps me busy. And I know it keeps you busy. And so YouTube kind of like took over my life because YouTube pays the most out of any other social media platform. And I have been so grateful for YouTube. And so for me, because I do voiceovers, it could take like a week to make one video for me. I try to make my videos as long as possible because that's more advertising money. Um, I also teach, and so I'll have like a 3 month project where I'm teaching. Currently, I work for Meta on a 3 month contract, and that contract ends December 31st. I opened up my cell phone right before coming on, and I had a text from my casting agency for like a film project that's like about 3 months. And so I'm all over the place. The day that we were supposed to film, I was working on a new movie. I had day two about 3 days ago, and I'll be able to tell you more about that project. I can't tell your viewers about it, but I'm really excited about it. Um, and I shared a photo with you. One of my coworkers at Meta actually was hired to work on set as well. And so when she saw me in the full look, her mouth hit the floor, um, because it is a very different look for me. Um, and we'll talk about that later. But I'm always in a different place depending on the day. For the Love of Dills, the first episode dropped November 26th. We had an LA premiere party. The following week, we were in New York. We had a viewing party at a bar called Rebar in Chelsea. And then this week, I don't have my crew with me, so I have to watch it at home by myself. But we plan on going to Miami in a few weeks, and so I'm all over the place. When I'm not wearing those hats, I'm so proud because last year I was a part of GLAAD's first ever Black Queer Creatives Summit, where there were Black queer people from every aspect of the entertainment industry, from people on camera, people behind the camera, executives from like Netflix. We had someone from the Bill O'Reilly show. We had makeup artists. We had painters. Um, just all. And the beautiful thing about that, I had never been surrounded by so many Black queer creatives in my life. The beautiful thing about that is that we all had the same story. We all thought about our limitations every single day and what we could not do. But what they drilled in us was to think about what are the possibilities. And like a spark went off in my head, and I started working with a Black queer film festival out of Chicago. And so for the past 2 years, I've been interviewing talent for them. And so I just finished that project. I have one more video, technically two more videos to make for them, and I'll be done. But I'm all over the place. Yeah, depending on the day.
I love how busy you are.
it hurts sometimes though.
Victor, that's how you get it done.
Yeah.
And you'll sleep when you're older. You'll sleep when you're older.
Yeah.
Like, even in my work, I don't sleep very much
Yeah.
because I'm committed.
Yeah.
And so are you. You're committed to several places. And
Yeah.
I love it because you're very serious about your commitments.
Yeah.
That shows. That shows even in our conversations that we've had. You're very committed to the work, you
Yeah.
know? And I'm just going to say here, they better pay you right.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's just, you just want to make sure you're getting what you deserve.
Yeah.
They're not giving you what you deserve. They should give at least more than what should sustain you, you know? Like, you shouldn't have to worry about where it's coming from. You shouldn't have to
Yeah.
worry about, this, because this is what people don't understand. When you're traveling like that, you have to leave your apartment. You have to
Yeah.
leave your condo, and you're still
Yeah.
going to pay for that.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
pay for that no matter where you go. You
Yeah.
have to pay for that.
Yeah.
So it has to always be enough. Like, there, it just, so you go different places, and one of my friends, his name is Vincent McDoon. He is a famous actor and fashion icon, basically,
Yeah.
and TV presenter in Paris, France.
Oh.
And he, oh my God, he always said to me, "What the one thing about the artist's life is when you have it, you have it. When you don't, you don't."
Yeah.
So he was like, "It's up to you to learn how to navigate to save it."
Yeah.
To save it.
Yeah.
And I think that, people see you on TV and they think, "Oh, I can do that. Have at it. Try it."
Yeah.
Because I said this in another video before here. We're already somebody before
Yeah.
we come to these shows. You're already way well into formation. You're
Yeah.
doing all kinds of things. And people say, "Oh, well, you're famous because I saw you in that show." And it's like, baby, no, 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 no. What I was doing got me to slot on that show.
Yeah.
The other way around.
Yeah.
You know? I am so. This has been a very peaceful conversation.
Oh.
And it's your energy. You're a very calm person. And I like it. And get it. We can all turn up. We're all dramatic. We are. But this went this way because it was very important that our viewership hear everything. It went this way so that they could see what success looks like for us. Because you're doing it. I know babies that can't get a job. I know writers in Hollywood that can't get a job. I know. And I'm like, baby, I'm the one that has to, they're paying me for mentoring. I'm like, listen, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this.
Yeah.
Branch out.
Yeah.
Branch out. Branch out. Netflix, you got to branch out. Do something. Create something.
Yeah.
Necessity is the
That's the key. No matter what you do, I'm going to backtrack a little bit because the training at the art school that I received, it's a commercial art school, and the thing that I learned very quickly is that an artist can create something and put it anywhere. They can put a painting in a museum, in a small gallery, in someone's home. It could be printed in a magazine. You can put it on Instagram. When I write something, someone has to read it to know that it exists. And I just can't put that writing everywhere. And so I realized how to think like an artist. And artists create. You have to create to get the things you want in life. And it can be anything. It can be everything, but you have to start somewhere. And that's what I attempt to do with all of these hats that I wear. I try to create. And I have a lot of friends on social media who they really put their heart into it, but find themselves in kind of like very dark places, because if we were of a lighter complexion, we would be superstars.
Yep.
And some of them find themselves, they might be homeless. They might, struggle to pay the rent. And it's really unfortunate. But sometimes you have to have a serious conversation with yourself and say, how can I support myself? How can I put food on the table? How can I pay this rent? And I have that serious conversation with myself every single day. I'm going to share something with you that I don't share with a lot of people. I don't touch my YouTube money. I don't touch it. Um, I don't touch it for a reason. I work hard as much as I do because um, I too want to build legacy. And I am very frugal, very frugal. Um, my favorite family member is my cousin, and he was just married in Italy. And the wedding was over the top. And the ceremony was in a botanical garden in Florence, and the reception was at the St. Regis. And I was laughing at him as we were drinking champagne in the St. Regis. And I said, when I go home, I'm going to be eating tuna out of a can. And he said, well, that's your choice because you've decided that. I said, it is my choice because I have a great life. I have a great life on a budget. I don't try to flaunt and stunt and do all of those things. Um, but I make it work. And I think that if more people in our community who look like us would just make it work and then work together, we would get further.
You know something? I'm going to confide something in you in front of all of these people. I am also very frugal. My grandmother was my investor. About 10 years ago, when the Queen of Shade was born, she gave me her retirement, signed over an IRA, 6 figures. And I built and set about the businesses of building my empire. I can literally run my business anywhere in the world for $220 a month. And that's because I had to get good at everything
Yeah.
so that it would be less hands on deck. Because when
Yeah.
hands go on deck, you gotta cut that check.
Yeah.
So I literally learned, and my grandmother commends me all the time. She
Yeah.
said, I don't know how you did that because
Yeah.
when we first started, this was high, that was high, this was high, bleeding money, bleeding this, bleeding that. I said, oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I got that together.
Yeah.
And $225
Yeah.
a month, I can run my business.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
love because just my setup at my apartment, it's very simple, but I'm behind the camera and I hate getting in front of the camera because I have to think about the light, I have to think about the camera angle, but you are putting the look together, putting the makeup together, and I see the belt too. I love that.
thank you.
And it's always head to toe with you.
Yeah, I even
And
have
so,
my stockings. I don't come half. I don't come half. If I'm going to commit to it, I got to do it right.
yeah,
Right. I want to be
yeah,
paid for it. I got
yeah,
to do it all the way right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
No Zoom
so,
call. No Zoom call situation here. It just got on the top and no, no, no. I'm sitting here fully dressed.
I'm wearing a jock strap underneath this.
Hey.
So I'm not
You dilf you.
but you are a master of it all because it's also not only do you record it, have the look, but you edit it, you post it, you promote it, and you engage. And so all of that is a lot.
And still find the time to keep up with thousands of Black and Latin men.
Yeah.
Get it? I was born to do this. It's the
Yeah.
only way. Because get it, even when you say it like that, I don't know how I do it.
Yeah.
It's just that easy to me.
Yeah.
But that's called mastery.
Yeah.
I I did, like, get this, before I ever launched my career, my grandmother, before she gave me the money, she made me study for 2 years on the ins and the outs of the back of the business. I needed to learn. I read lots of books. I talked to many lawyers, entertainment lawyers. I did all of that stuff, hired an accountant, hired a lawyer, did all of that. And get it, it's not just the show that I'm responsible for. I
Yeah.
keep, I keep the books,
Yeah.
all of that. I do all those things behind the scenes. My
Yeah.
accountant literally gets the one sheet from me at the end of the year and sends it to the IRS. But
Yeah.
I kept the books all year.
Yeah.
I just, you know what it is, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this because I need our babies to hear this. Black people are the only demographic of people where we are constantly told we can't run our businesses ourselves. But our Caucasian counterparts can run a business, never come to public light, make millions of dollars, and no one questions them on how they make their money. So that was another thing I set out to disprove.
Yeah.
I'm a black man, 42 years old. I can run my business myself.
Yeah.
There's so many things going on here. I'm
Yeah.
teaching lessons. I'm doing, like, there's so much going on here because I think why I can sit here so comfortably is because I know what to do. See, a lot of people, even when they book me for mentoring, they don't know what to do. So
Yeah.
I literally have to talk to them, take their ideas, listen to what they're passionate about, listen to what they're not passionate about, listen to what they dream of doing, and materialize it.
Yeah.
Help them to manifest it. But
Yeah.
for me, I couldn't imagine my life not
Yeah.
doing what I do. And I tell people all the time, I've given it 21 years. I've got 19 more. That's a career, 40 years.
Yeah.
I've got 19 more to go. And it's getting good now.
Yeah.
It's getting real good now. It's so crazy, but I love this because people need to see successful black queer people.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so happy for today. They get to see successful, hardworking black queer people
Yeah.
doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
We need this visibility, visibility, visibility.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to teach them the way. They just need to see that there is a way. They'll
Yeah.
do the rest. That was me. I just
Yeah.
needed to see that there was a way. I didn't need anybody to tell me nothing because I was the type of person where I paid attention. Like even when I was trying to model, and that's what took me to Paris. When I needed to contact photographers, I picked up Vogue, I picked up W, I picked up Elle, I picked up Harper's Bazaar. And one thing about it is, when they do the photos, if you flip the magazine sideways and look on the inside of the seam, it tells you photo by such and such. I get his name, Google him, and contact the photographer. I didn't have to be, I didn't have to be told to take initiative, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I take initiative. You're
Yeah.
sitting there because you take initiative. That is the main reason we're sitting here. You
Yeah.
take initiative. You
Yeah.
have to take initiative. Can't wait for something to fall in your lap.
Yeah.
It'll never fall there.
Yeah.
And if something falls, you best believe it ain't the right thing for you.
Yeah.
I recently heard Jay-Z say on a podcast with Kevin Hart, I believe it was, opportunities, ain't nobody out here handing out opportunities. And money is not free.
Yeah.
He said those things. He said, and a lot of black people, we don't have a positive relationship with money. We
Yeah.
have to understand these things. Money is not free.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to use his reference. He talked about talking to, a cousin and saying and the cousin saying, oh, if you give me this amount of money, I can get you back this. And he's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of factors in the money market,
Yeah.
So it's just so lovely to see and get it, to see so many rising. We have the T.S. Madisons. We
Yeah.
have the Laverne Cox. We have the Victor Yates. We have these people. No, because we get to see. We get They don't understand how visibility is key,
Yeah.
especially for Black people. All
Yeah.
we need to do is see one time.
Yeah.
And they know that.
I'm not on the level
Get this.
that.
Get this. I'm putting you there. That's why I said it. I'm putting you there. Because get this. This is the thing. Every single person that is now in the stratosphere and the supernova once was treading the path that we are on. You can't get there without being us first.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. What did Aretha Franklin say? Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. And that's the beauty of it. I don't measure my success by the successes and the failures of other people.
Yeah.
I love doing it, and you mentioned it. It's virtual for me. This
Yeah.
space is where I live. I'm protected. I ain't got to deal with gay bashing. I ain't got to deal with none of that. I'm
Yeah.
protected here. My boundaries are strong.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person where people say, oh, is this leverage for you to go to Hollywood? No, 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 baby. This is the career.
Yeah.
When I go to Paris and I'm living there in between singing and putting out music and doing all kinds of one-man shows, I'm going to be sitting and doing this for my own business.
Yeah.
This is it for me. I tell people all the time, oh, well, you got to use that and, you can leverage it to something else. I said, no, baby, this is my career.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it. You watching it. When I'm
Yeah.
done, I'm done. This is it. This
Yeah.
is the career I dreamed of.
Yeah.
I'm in control.
Yeah.
I own it. This is the dream.
Yeah. I will tell you, before the pandemic, I've had a lot of jobs. I worked for a dermatologist, and my job was working on their social media accounts, specifically Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I had to recruit influencers, and influencers' life is wild. I had one influencer, she was probably 23, from some small city in Ohio. She had a beautifully curated Instagram. She was hired to be the creative director for a women's brand out of Australia. So they moved her to LA, and like every 2 to 3 months, they fly her to Australia for all of their campaigns, photo shoots, catalogs, everything. She can command whatever she has like 100,000 followers on Instagram. She can ask for whatever she wants. I also am a brand ambassador, and so I work with countless companies. I had a gig with Amazon for promo for a new movie. They hired maybe 30 influencers to come to an activation and take photos. That's it. That's all they had to do. One girl, she and paid very well. One girl said, I would love to go, but I had planned something with my sister. Can she come along? They were like, yes, and we'll pay her too.
Mm.
There was one influencer who had a gig that was paying him $30,000 for a photo shoot. The day before, he got drunk and canceled. So this little box can take you wherever you want to go. And it's not just a box, because this box has no lines, because this box, my biggest audience is not in the States. Brazil, I don't know, they love me in Brazil. The UK, they love me in the UK. I had one sponsor that wanted to get my analytics, and they were like, oh, your numbers in the US are too low. So they were like, we don't know if this is a good fit for us. But for YouTube, I've worked with like countless sponsors, sometimes like, 3, 4, 5 times. And so for some people who are not in social media, it might sound as if you're limiting yourself, but there are no limits to social media. Content creation is where it's at. I've seen like an explosion of Black creatives who they're working with Hulu, like with Drewski. He is everywhere. Um, and I also love seeing Black queer people getting partnerships. There are a lot of us working with Jacked. There are a lot of us working with Grinder, getting great deals. Um, and the beautiful thing is that you can also create projects for yourself. You can direct movies yourself. You can, verticals are like huge right now. You can direct verticals for yourself. There are no limits with a cell phone and a dream. You can do whatever you want.
Thank you for telling them. They thought I was crazy. Get this. Since 2008, I told my best friend and we got into an argument walking down the street because she was like, okay, we're going to go to California. You're going to audition for this person. You're going to audition for this label. And da, da, da. I said, oh, no, baby. She hadn't known that. She didn't know that I had been there, done that.
Yeah.
I said, no, no, no. I'm not doing any of that. She said, what the hell you mean you're not doing none of that? What you going to do? I said, I'm going to work on the internet. She said, you're crazy. Did this. We fell out. She turned around and literally, we stopped talking for a couple of years.
Wow.
Then this happened. Now, she like, you did it.
Yeah.
You said you were going to do it, and you did it. This
Yeah.
is the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
I think like you. This is endless possibility.
Yeah.
I have conducted conversations with babies in Africa,
Yeah.
Germany, the Netherlands,
Yeah.
France, and
Yeah.
the list goes on. And what they don't understand is because they're not sitting in my space, cut down on the overhead.
Yeah.
Cut down on the overhead.
Yeah.
This is the way to do it if you don't want to go bankrupt quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. For the
You
film
don't
festival.
want to blow your budget?
Yeah.
Virtual.
Yeah. For the film festival that I work with, I interviewed someone from Australia and someone from South Africa.
Yep.
And incredible conversations that we had. I do the same thing. I basically am on Zoom and we set up a time to chat. And I think of, pre-questions and we just have a conversation.
Yeah.
And I get paid to do it.
This is the way.
Yeah.
This is the way.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed you. We did an hour and a half.
Okay. And my phone's about to die.
Good. Okay. So get this real quick. Season 1, I always said give me 3 words that inspire and empower you. Season 2 is make a wish. Something you want more than anything and put it out into the atmosphere. Tell me what it is.
My wish is that all of your dreams come true.
You're the first one. Thank you. Because guess what?
What?
They're happening. I haven't been able to sleep for days. They're happening. And the life I always dreamt of is right there. I want to live in the countryside of France in a castle. I've been looking up how much they cost. I got it all worked out.
Well, when you get there, you have to do me a favor. You have to buy 30 gold belts.
Yes. Why 30?
Why not 30?
Listen, don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of this genius and forward thinker of our time, one of them. Mr. Victor Yates. Don't go away. So did you enjoy? Was the conversation everything you thought it would be? It was for me. I love catching up with my friends. It was absolutely amazing. So if you thought it was amazing, please continue to watch, comment, like, and share. And most of all, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love you, and I do this for you. Good, wholesome content about self-love, self-confidence, and self-healing. The Queen of Shade loves you all. Remember my name, the Queen of Shade. Mwah.
And I wish you could have more of me, but I'm questioning your loyalty. But you know my love is never free. Little boy, come get your daddy, please. And I wish you could have more of me, but I'm questioning your loyalty. But you know my love is never free. Little boy, come get your daddy, please. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm gonna get you, boy.
Please subscribe to the Queen of Shades YouTube today for over 1,000 original videos created by the Queen herself. Subscribe today.
Turn that TV down.